Disclaimer: everything discussed in this stream is alleged. Everything is based on our opinions. Please do your own research.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university where they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. And there's doctors and lawyers and business executives, and they're all made of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry, and they all have pretty children, and the children go to school, and the children go to summer camp, and then to the university where they are put in boxes and they come out all the same.
Boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same.
There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same.
I got places to go. People to see, time is precious. I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going. The women, the shorties know nothing but clothes. No stopping at my Pirelli's on. Unlike my jewelry that's always on. I know the storm is coming. My pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night cause it's meant to be ours. We keep a fadeaway shot cause we ballin' this platinum Patron every hour. Look mama, ow, you just like the flowers. Girl, you the truth with all that goody power. Beautiful to be, it's going down. From the top of the pole, I watch her go. She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to be, it's going down. Hey, Charlie must know I'm the man. My money lover like a #1 fan. Don't open my mouth, let her talk to my fans. My Benjamin Franklin's, a couple of grands. I got rubber bands. My paper planes making a dance. Get dirty all night, that's part of my rebuilding castles that's made out of. She's amazing, I'm fire blazing, hotter than Cajun. Girl, won't you move a little closer? Time to get paid, it's maximum wage. That body belong on a poster. I'm in the days, that bottom is waving at me like, damn it, I know you. You run the show like a gun out of holster. Tell me whatever and I'll be your sofa. She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to
Hello, hello. Welcome to another awesome Tuesday night with the Real Housewives of Alberta. Rocky was here earlier, not sure where she is. She kind of dipped on me. All right, so I guess I will get the show started. First off, because we're talking about some conspiracies today, I am going to replay our disclaimer.
Disclaimer: everything discussed in this stream is alleged. Everything is based on our opinions. Please do your own research.
So that's just based on some of the topics we're going to be covering today. Make sure you do your own research. All right. So, first off, our first topic for tonight, I'm just going to have to talk while I am sharing my screen. So, people are starting to lose their shit here in Canada. A man in crisis, apparently having an emotional breakdown, shut down one of the major connector routes. It's a bridge that connects Kelowna on the William R. Bennett Bridge. Now, what this did was it actually shut down the morning commute for a lot of people that were trying to get to work, trying to get to flights, trying to get to their day. Well, it turned out that early Monday morning, middle-aged man who was basically having a mental health crisis parked his van, his white van, across all lanes of traffic so no one could pass. Before that, he'd made disturbing social media posts. Let's see, he sealed the doors of his vehicle, closed shut. And then he made a comment about introducing everyone to God the same time that he's going to introduce himself. So we all know what that means. He was going to commit schmooicide. So we're not sure what exactly was in the vehicle. So no matter where I looked or what I researched, they've been very, very tight-lipped on this one. But they were calling it volatile material. And he said that inside this vehicle, I have 60 pounds of highly volatile material that requires nothing more than a stupid human to make a simple mistake and regret their decision. So literally making threats that he might, make the big boomy on the bridge, which would not be cool because the structural damage that would occur to that bridge would possibly shut down Kelowna. So the part of his distress that he was in, he blamed the Kelowna RCMP, the Hells Angels, and Kelowna cabs. Of course, all of his social media was completely, taken down and scrubbed from the internet. So I couldn't find anything in the brief research that I did. I didn't go too deep into this one. But it was all over Twitter. Thank God for us being able to access X up in Canada here, because we are not able to see news on any of our social media. It's all taken down. Thank you to our awesome government. So bomb squad came in, cleared the scene, arrested the guy, and that is the last thing that we heard about when it came to this incident. And it's the sign of our times now that I think is happening, where good people and crazy people are starting to crack under all of the pressure of things that are happening. Either they think that things aren't happening fast enough, or they think that things are not happening in the way they want them to happen, or the government's not moving in the correct direction that they want, or it's not moving fast enough. So there's lots of people that are starting to crack under the pressure. And all I can say is just the old adage, just focus on yourself, your family, friends, and close community around you. Because in all honesty, that's the only thing you can control. You cannot control what the government does. You never have been able to. They're just going to do what they do. Just make sure that you make yourself ungovernable and make sure that you yourself are living a good life, raising good children, and taking care of yourself and the people around you that you love. When you start to focus on the big things, that's what makes you go crazy. And just going to say hi back. Hi, Freedom Canada. Welcome. All right. So we wanted to go a little bit into how our government is actually doing in this past week of, I think it's the first week of the Trump presidency since he was inaugurated. And he put the hammer down and he started actually doing what he promised he was going to do, which is really weird for a politician to actually be doing that. And I pretty much, it's the first time in my lifetime that a politician has done what they said they were going to do. So got a little video here of the president talking about the actions that he's going to take about the unsecure border that's been plaguing our friends in America down south.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century. And to those members of Congress who question my authority to make our immigration system work better, or question the wisdom of me acting where Congress has failed, I have one answer. Pass a bill.
Oh, shoot. Crap, that was the wrong president. Ha! Anyway, so up in Canada, our conservative leader of the opposition, who's running to be prime minister when we eventually have an election, he is starting to follow suit because now it's safe to talk about deporting people that break laws when they come into our country. So Mr. Polyev, who's doing the loose, bad boy curl look now, apparently, he's calling to enact laws in Canada to try and deport temporary residents involved in violence or hate crimes, which makes me laugh because the only reason why he's doing this now is because he's been enabled by the huge support of the majority in the United States to get rid of people out of the country that have come here and there illegally and just been a menace to society, costing taxpayers millions, billions of dollars in housing them once they're caught, or causing all kinds of money, making sure that they're prosecuted. So hello.
Hi. Where's Rocky?
I don't know. She was on here for a bit and then she disappeared. So I'm not sure what happened. So I'm just talking about the craziness that's happening since the Mango Mussolini joined the leadership of your country.
Who?
That's my favorite one. The Mango Mussolini.
Really?
I thought that was pretty. I thought it was pretty clever. Not that I believe.
Who is it?
Well, Donald Trump, right? Because he's the orange man. Orange man bad.
Okay, now I get it. I was like, what is going on?
You gotta respect. You gotta respect because that one's pretty fun.
People are just fucking ridiculous with that down here right now. Just it's women having full on meltdowns, like just it's horrible.
And on behalf of all middle-aged white women, I am so sorry. So, we were just talking about Polyev here, the leader of the Conservative Party in the opposition. He's now Millhouse. He's now got the balls to actually call out people who are here on temporary work visas or temporary student visas who are here just to commit crimes and do the Terrys and be bad dudes.
Nice.
So now that Trump's flopped his big dick on the table, Polyev's like, I can flop my dick too, and so now he's kind of supporting getting rid of the bad guys, which I thought was
good. It's fucking about time somebody did something.
I support the message, but I wish he had grown a pair before it was cool to do it. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, there was probably a lot of with Trudeau and other people in play. I'm sure he was fucking terrified because he didn't know how things were gonna go.
Yeah.
And now it's pretty obvious that Trudeau's out.
Yes. So the twist that they're doing here is, of course, the whole October 7th situation that happened with Hamas and Israel and all that stuff. And the rise of, like, up here, the pro-Palestine stuff is insane. And the people supporting Hamas and, the us versus them, colonials versus the natives population stuff, the rhetoric is really big up here. So the actual anti-Semitism is pretty rampant. So so that's what he's talking about up here. But yeah, and I've got this here. So I don't know if y'all Americans know, but we are now having a leadership race for the person that's going to take Trudeau's job. And the people that have put their hat in the ring or what have you, they're pretty interesting. So the first one here, my absolute favorite, and this is who I'm voting for.
Priorité. Sur le gain en capital, pourquoi vous faites marche arrière sur le gain en capital? Attendez, sur le gain en capital, pourquoi vous faites marche arrière?
C'est difficile d'entendre parce que tout le monde crie. Ok, alors.
Sur le gain en capital, pourquoi vous faites marche arrière?
Je comprends. Et j'ai compris.
What was happening there? What was she doing?
She was answering questions. Now
she was just kept on going like this.
So my question is, you got three options. Was she drunk? Was she high? Or was she having an orgasm?
She's probably all three.
I watched that video and I'm just like, lady, what the fuck is going on? She's like, and what she started saying at the end there, she's like, look, I understand your concern. And then that ends the video, right?
Yeah.
Right. So she just seemed completely overwhelmed and more than twitchy, more than usual. So the other dude that is going to, pour some drinks out because the Liberals are not approving his bid for the leadership race. Poor guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wonder.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all remember, but this is the guy that was interviewed about not being able to speak French and barely being able to speak English, and it didn't matter. So they asked him, like, well, do you speak French? He's like, no, it doesn't matter. My leadership is so amazing. Quebec won't care.
Oh,
my friend, Have you ever been to Quebec? Like, have you ever set foot in the province? Like, those people really care about their en français.
Yep.
Yeah, so he was disqualified. He's not permitted to enter in the leadership race. So everybody who signed up to vote for Chandra Arya in the leadership race, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to pick someone else. Yeah, so he basically says here, this decision raises significant questions about the legitimacy of the leadership race and by extension the legitimacy of the next Prime Minister of Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the number one hopeful, or the one that everyone's, replaced their chip with, the NPC chip replacement up here in Canada, the number one choice right now is Mark Carney. Now, do you remember how Kamala was placed? Or Kamala? Fuck you say her name?
Yeah.
How there was no vote. She was just
No,
selected.
nothing.
She was put in. Well, this is even worse. He's not even a member of parliament. He doesn't hold a seat.
Oh, really? Why on earth would they do that?
Because reasons. He's the previous leader, or he was the previous governor of the Bank of Canada. He then moved to become the governor of the Bank of England, who was with the WEF bragging about the fact that he was European. He does have European heritage and Canadian heritage, but he was very, very proud of his European heritage. Yeah, if you just look at his Wikipedia page, like just the Wikipedia page, and read the different companies and organizations that he's a part of, he's Trudeau times 1,000.
Oh, fuck.
Worse. And that was my fear, is that because they started floating Mark Carney about 2 years ago. His name's been circulating for that long. For someone.
So they're stacking the deck with a fucking douchebag, another douchebag.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, if Carney gets in, that's the end. Now, the issue with him becoming the leader of the Liberal Party and thereby becoming de facto prime minister.
Yeah.
He does not hold a seat in parliament. He was not elected by a single Canadian. So we will have an unelected prime minister.
Wow.
Yes. So democracy, our democracy, nobody voted for him. He was appointed by the Liberal Party.
Oh.
And I don't know if that sends chills down anybody's spine, but that sure does for me.
It should.
Yeah. It's pretty terrifying.
It fucking should. That's fucked up.
Oh, I just got a message from our friend Rocky. She says she had her internet shit the bed. So
oh yeah.
Yeah. So pour one out for Chantel's internet. So hopefully she gets it fixed by the time we get to the final topic.
What's that?
Ostrich farm.
Oh.
Nobody listen. I'm telling my co-host. So the nice part though was Trudeau's doing normal Trudeau things. He's touring and he's being treated just like his father was in the downfall of his reign over Canada. Yeah. So I got this little video here that it brings joy to my heart with how much Canadians love Justin Trudeau.
You fucking scumbag! You're garbage! You're fucking scumbag! Time to die, you fucking... Justin, where's my tax money? Where's my tax money? Fuck Trudeau!
And then the end with some lady.
Wow.
I know, right? Isn't that insane? So when Daddy was touring Canada before he took the long walk in the snow, it's called, Daddy Trudeau took a train across Canada to, meet the people or whatever. And people would show up at all of his stops and they would throw rocks and they would throw, pebbles, and they would throw vegetables. That's too fucking expensive now. Yeah, the country literally hated him. And it looks like our little friend, Castro Jr., he is just maybe even more hated. And the only reason why people aren't throwing anything at him is because that kid got literal charges for throwing pebbles at him as homage to what happened to his father. We don't throw vegetables because they're way too fucking expensive now, and we're going to eat them.
Right? Vegetables, fuck eggs, man. Dude,
Yep.
like I usually get like a carton of 18, like a
Yep.
double pack or whatever.
Yeah.
And those used to be like $6 and
Yep.
they're like 14 now.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, really? Just one thing of one thing of eggs? I got a almost 15-year-old who eats like a fucking horse.
Oh, look. It's not working.
Sorry.
Well, rip. That's okay. Yeah. Oh, and here we go. Our friend Tom Martin here says the UK hates Carney. So I know that Carney is universally not liked because he is pretty much the everything of the global elite that we all hate. He's incredibly wealthy, very well educated, extremely well connected. He's got, billions backing him, and he's being hand selected to replace Trudeau. And it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Like when they talk about our democracy and your vote counts and blah, 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 this is a blatant appointment.
Maybe Trump really will come rescue you guys if that happens.
Well, I mean, who knows? I hear, like, as a Canadian talking to fellow Canadians and stuff like that, I hear lots of people that are like, fuck yeah, 51st state, woo. But I can't help to have a part of my heart break for my country. And
yeah,
as a proud Canadian, it makes me very sad that we are, by all intents and purposes, a failed state. It's heartbreaking. And
I was feeling like that with Biden in office.
yeah, like I'm a proud Canadian. I'm proud to be an immigrant to this country legally. And growing up here and how beautiful it was when I was a child and how much it's changed. And even starting in the 80s, 90s, but especially since 2015, how much this country has changed. It's terrifying and it's very sad. And it breaks my heart. And but if we can be saved before we become an actual tyrannical dictatorship, meh. Like I said the last stream, if we Saskatchewan and Alberta and northern BC come together as the proud state of Buffalo,
yeah,
they wouldn't be mad at it.
that'd be a pretty big fucking state.
Yeah. Well, it'd be a little bit bigger than Texas, with the same oil reserves and lumber and all of the natural natural things that we harvest here, plus a bunch of great Canadians, and I believe it'll correct the wrong of the way they drew the border back in the day. Because when they drew the border between Canada and the United States, they just drew it arbitrarily across a line. And there were many Americans that did live in Saskatchewan and Alberta that had already set down roots and had already settled their homesteads. And they were just like, okay, I guess we're Canadians now. Just because some people in Ottawa decided that that's where the line was going to be. So that's, so yeah, and this here too. Breaks my heart the Canadians allowed this to happen. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the problem with being kind and accepting and complacent and scared of speaking out.
I feel like that's kind of what happened in Minnesota. They were fucking blue for so long. And we just got dumped on and dumped on and dumped on. And now, like, places in Minneapolis and shit don't look the same. It's not, I wouldn't even recognize the Children's Hospital anymore. There's like a park down the street, and like, it's full of gangs. And I mean, there have been fucking people on the street next to the hospital with needles out of their arms. Fuck, when I was down there, and that was 20 years ago almost, or maybe, yeah, something like that. Anyway, dude slit his wrist right next to the hospital.
Jesus.
Like, what the fuck? And then gunshots, they have those stupid shot sensors, but the cops don't come. They don't care. And let's not even get started on fucking Little Mogadishu.
Well, with that being said, we apparently are having issues with people fleeing to Canada because Trump is an evil, evil deporter.
Bigot.
So a bunch of immigrants, illegal immigrants that entered the United States illegally that are part of gangs, like the really bad dudes, they're starting to flee to Canada. And honestly, last
winter they were fucking sneaking in from Canada.
I know. I know. So they would come here because like our borders are just as wide open as yours, but we don't border on anything. So they were flying here. Where did they get the fucking plane tickets? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
That being said, now immigrants are starting to flee north, and this happened last time when Trump was elected, and we had cartels taking people across the rivers and the lakes in the east there in January, and there was many who died because they were not prepared for January in Canada. And these guys, all things being said, kudos to people from Jordan, the Sudan, for walking into Manitoba. Because it's January.
Shit.
Do you know how cold it is? Like the fact that they even did it? So
I think there was a family that came across the border. I think they were Indian, maybe. And they died. They froze to death because it was January.
Yes, there's been a few that have thought, okay, well, we'll try to cross into BC. They don't understand the topography of that area. Like if the mountains and cold doesn't kill you, there's a lot of furry creatures out there with claws and teeth that would find you delicious. It's not a good time.
Well, they're definitely going to get them after.
Well, this time of year, it's like, what is it? Cougar, wolf, and coyote breeding season. So they're extremely aggressive right now. So
Ooh,
good luck, guys.
this is totally off topic. Well, kind of off topic, but Minnesota, I think I just read the other day something about they're gonna do an introduction of elk back into like the northeast corner of Minnesota.
Okay.
Like some kind of program that's going on. I thought that was really neat because I don't elk, why not? There used to be caribou.
Yeah. That is elk. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Well,
caribou
I
and
mean,
reindeer are the same.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's going on here. I did want to talk about this as well because this really made me sad. And I promised I wouldn't cry on stream, but it seems to be the thing that everyone's doing now.
As I'm laughing.
Here we go.
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. They don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
Who is that? Just a random person?
That's Selena Gomez.
Shut up. No way. It doesn't even look like her.
Well, that's because she's been crying. She's very swollen.
Oh, yeah, but like ever since she got with that one guy, she's kind of looked swollen.
Maybe love put some weight on you. But yeah, so I actually downloaded a whole bunch of women on the internet crying because of the children.
And what children? Like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, and I thought, oh, we'll do that on the stream. It'll be funny. And I'm like, fuck no, I don't care. I'm sorry. They are right now deporting the criminals, like the rapists and the murderers and the people that have already been convicted of crimes that are being housed in your criminal justice system and being fed and clothed and have a warm place to sleep in prison. And in my opinion, what a waste of money. Send them back.
Yeah. Well, I get people are like, what about birthright citizenship? And no, something needs to be done about that too. I'm fucking sorry, but it does. Later. You're separating families. You know what? Okay, well then keep the kid over here and fucking send the parents back home. What does that do? Like that does nothing, and it puts more stress on our whole fucking welfare system and everything because they give them free medical and cash and put them up in a group home or a foster home or something like that, and that's all American taxpayer money.
Yeah,
we're paying for that.
The birthright citizen loop is, I think, like more than the H-1B. Like, I think birthright citizenship is the number one most abused kindness that the West introduced. Because all you have to do is just make plans. Okay, we're gonna, like, I'm 9 months pregnant. I'm about to pop. Okay, let's get across the border and birth this baby so then we can stay in that country. And then enjoy all the fruits of our labor, for lack of a better term. But birthright citizenship, I think, is one of the worst loopholes. And it's I understand why it was implemented, because it was implemented out of kindness. But there's a saying from back in my day, there's a saying, sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. And sometimes you have to consider how things can be taken advantage of and not have the opinion that most people are good, that'll have good intentions, because systems get exploited by everyone, whether it's like a company that takes returns because they stand behind their products, or a
Yep.
country that allows birthright citizenship and has 9-month pregnant women from Sudan crossing the border illegally through Mexico. So
Yeah.
she can give birth in America, and then now she gets to stay because she had a child. And now that child is American. So, of course, the baby has to have a mama, which I agree with. Baby does have to have a mama. But now she gets to stay in the country. And that's all I have to say about that. So
I just heard that in my head in Forrest Gump's voice.
yeah, and that's all I have to say about that. It's being female, of course, I do feel bad for the birthright citizens and the dreamers and those people who have been in the United States for 20, 30 years, and they live a good life, and they have friends, and they've, built businesses even, and like, I do feel bad for those people, but that's not what we're dealing with right now. Like,
Yeah.
we can cry about that later. What we're talking about right now is the worst of the worst, and your country getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I
wholeheartedly stand
mean,
behind.
literally, there was more than one country that emptied their fucking prisons out onto our lawn.
Yes. Yeah.
Their prisons, like rapists, murders, fucking cartel members, the worst drug dealers, like people that cut your fucking head off.
Well, and my thing is, okay, Selena Gomez, you're sitting there crying about my people. You're half fucking Italian, by the way. You can't even speak Espanol. She can't even speak Spanish, and she's sitting there sobbing about my people and the children. What about the hundreds of thousands of children that have been trafficked and fucking lost in the United States of America? What about those children? What about the hundreds of thousands of children that are now in the system somewhere? And when I say the system, I'm talking about the underground dark system. What about those fucking children that this system has enabled to happen? I cry for those children. The kids that are with their parents and living a happy life and they may be deported, sad. But what about the kids that have had to endure the most horrific things that can ever be done to another human being?
Exactly.
Those children make me cry. And the reason why it's happening is because of the system that's being exploited, that's now being shut down.
Yep.
And we all know
and
how
people
I feel.
are upset.
I know. It's like, oh, you should let them traffic children. Duh, they're coming for a better life. No, they're fucking not. Have you seen?
No, some probably come to worse conditions.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they would rather, be working in a factory in squalor than having to be put through what they're being put through right now with, I'm not going to say it because we're on the internet. But anyway, we all know how I feel about PDF files. Wood chipper feet first and slowly.
Sorry, I was getting a call.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, my cat keeps headbutting me.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Tom Martin. We're on the same wavelength. The what about the children thing?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
She should be. Half the reason she's probably so fucked up is because she was a Disney or a Nick. Was it a Disney? Yeah, a Disney kid.
Yeah, she was. I think
those kids went through a lot of fucked up shit.
And she's like, "Oh no, it's totally normal. Look at how good I am." Right?
No,
So,
look at all those poor kids. Fucking Demi Lovato, Justin
oh,
Bieber, fucking Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears.
all of them. Lindsay
Yeah.
Lohan.
Oh God, Amanda Bynes.
Oh,
Oh, Amanda Bynes is almost unrecognizable.
I
It's sad.
people. It's so funny because like I'm watching the Lindsay Lohan come back with her like terrible rom-coms that are fabulous on Netflix. And
I like them. They're cheesy.
they're so good, but they're so bad, but they're so good.
I know.
Yeah.
I watched like the Christmas ones and shit. There's
Yes.
one about Scotland or something I watched too. I thought
It
it
was
was
Irish
cheesy, but
Irish
whatever.
Wish. It was terrible, but I loved it. It's like cotton candy, right? Like you go to the fair, you get a bag of cotton candy. First
Yeah.
couple of bites, it's so good and so yummy, and then you eat too much, you get a stomachache. Same thing. And same nutritional value too. But the Lindsay Lohan comeback story, I'm actually really happy about that she's pulled herself out of it and she's gonna be okay. Amanda Bynes, that girl's not okay.
No, she's not. Neither is Britney Spears.
No. Oof. Poor Brittany. Save Brittany.
Fucking knives and shit. Like,
Hey, I
what
do
the
have to
hell is
say,
going on?
she's looking really good for her age, though. Like, I would not be prancing around in my bra and panties on the
Well,
internet.
yeah, she looks great, but I mean, mental health awareness.
Yeah, mental health awareness, 100%. Um, yeah. So, it just Selena Gomez sitting there crying, like, dabbing her tears with $1,000 bills because she's a fucking billionaire in her
Yeah,
mansion up in the hills where she's never been exposed to
with her
anything,
Jewish boyfriend.
with her wealthy boyfriend that's really good with money. Um, but she's not exposed to what average everyday people go through, having to deal with these people that are really bad dudes that are being let into the country,
Right?
into your country and into mine. And she doesn't have to deal with that because she's living in a walled off mansion in the hills
Yeah.
and doesn't have
She
to
doesn't
be
have any
there.
kids. She doesn't have to be scared
Yeah.
about anything.
She doesn't even go grocery shopping because Consuela
She's
does that
probably
to
got
her,
fucking, yeah. She's
right?
probably got guards outside her mansion.
Yeah, that are armed, but yet she's anti-gun or something. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You elitist piece
All
of
of
shit.
these celebrities, there's very few who are not on bullshit.
Yeah. And
You know, about what.
once you get to that point, I do believe that you do become disconnected from what average life is like unless you make a concerted effort to understand
Yep.
why people are the why the peasants are complaining, right? Because you're like, but
Peasants.
everything's
I
fine.
like the ones that live like normal people.
Yeah, like
They're few and far between, but there are some.
Keanu Reeves that
Shit,
takes
we
the
sold a
subway.
pontoon to fucking Josh Duhamel's family. And like they come to Minnesota all the time. They're always up in Minoman.
All right, so before I get too upset about like the women crying on the internet about the children, and again, as a middle-aged white woman, actually, I think I'm older than middle-aged now, but as a older than middle-aged white woman, I am fucking sorry for my kind. Like I feel really bad. Hopefully, I'm making a good representation of what women should care about, because I have 2 daughters and I have 2 granddaughters. I don't want them growing up around that. And I don't care what
Right.
I don't care what color they are. I don't care what country they come from. Bad guys, no. Just go away. And thank you to Donald Trump for having the stones to actually do the thing against the screaming and the crying.
This reminds me of this. There was a series not long ago. I think it was right at the beginning of the Biden administration,
Mm-hmm.
and it was called Carnival. It was on Prime, Amazon Prime, with Orlando Bloom, and
Okay.
they had like all of these creatures like centaurs and fairies and mixed bloods and this and that, and they were
Okay.
called the Pox.
Sounds
And
familiar.
yeah, right. And then they had them like they were going and getting all the mixed bloods and putting them in kind of a ghetto and whatever. And then there was like people in cages, and I'm like, is this like foreshadowing of the next Trump administration?
Maybe.
I know that's bad, but it was probably like, their propaganda, because it's kind of it's a lefty thing, I feel like.
Mm.
If watching it, I could see all the political undertones. So I was
Yeah.
like, this is fucking gay.
Well,
Can't
there's
handle it.
what happens. Like it's a story from the Bible, right? When the scales are removed from your eyes, then you can see. I know you fucking see
Yeah.
it everywhere. So that transitions into our next story about the government and what's happening up here. Now,
Okay.
this is a really big story that's not being talked about, and it's something that I felt compelled to talk about. But first off, speaking of your like half creatures, I've got this video to show here.
August in the high mountain plateaus of British Columbia. This is when the alpine flora really shows its stuff. Whoa. But these particular peaks are more than just home to an ecosystem of resilient flowers, not even the biggest grizzly ventures here at this time of year, because these are the breeding grounds of the world's largest and stupidest bird. The man ostrich of British Columbia. Here it is uttering its stupid mating call.
I'm sorry.
So stupid. This male is showing off his egg-sitting skills to any watchful females.
That sounds like an
Now
Iron
he's
Ranger
making a
at the
quick
bar
break.
at like midnight, last call.
Yep.
That's their mating call too.
Yeah. Those legs are powerful. They've been known to kick a Ford F-150 6 inches off.
It reminds me like Jim Carrey or something.
11 months out of the year,
Ostrich
this
man.
particular specimen roams the nearby town. Thank you.
Ace Ventura does
Town
ostriches.
Lowell, on garbage and upsetting the residents with his naked, hairy dad legs. He makes this 2,000-meter ascent every year in hopes to
They
find
look
a
like
mate.
chicken legs.
However, this individual has not seen another of his kind in a
He
decade.
skips leg day.
He skips leg day.
Maybe
And
the other
fun.
ones just sort of switched spots and didn't tell him because they don't like him. Soon, he will make his descent back to the town that tolerates him, and none too soon. Has his fevered drive to mate, his prolonged and cruel solitude, his maple syrup blood will flood his tiny brain and choke out what minuscule intelligence remains.
So I just wanted to start with something light as a good segue.
That was great.
Oh, stop. Playing adverts for me.
Mm.
All right. So what we want to talk about is February 1st, a farm in BC has been ordered to cull their, I think it's around 400 ostriches. And the reason why is because a flock of wild ducks, I think it was, got into their field and gave the birds avian flu.
Oh.
Okay. 2 of the birds died. And of course, because this is a responsible ostrich breeder. They reported it like you're supposed to. You report it to the government, and the government came in and didn't test the birds, didn't do anything, and they decided that because these 2 birds passed away, the other birds may be carrying avian flu or the antibodies. So all 400 need to be culled. Now, these birds, they survived a wildfire that came through a few years ago. And they were saved and they were all herded off and everything. Some of these birds are about 25 to 30 years old. And this farm has been keeping them forever. So I've got a video here. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Huh. So I'm sure that everyone's heard about the chicken farms and commercial egg.
Yeah. Get out of here.
And stuff like that. They're having to cull millions of birds. And of course that's close to my heart because I got my ladies in the backyard. So like something that I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned about the getting sick. I'm concerned about, other things that could happen. But so we put together this presentation tonight. I'm really sorry that Rocky's not here, because this is something that she's pretty passionate about too, is stopping the government from killing these freaking birds. So we've got this little video here to kind of get you guys in the mood, I guess.
Have you ever seen ostrich chicks? This is a male Somali ostrich providing shade for ostrich chicks under the hot sun in Samburu National Reserve in northern Kenya. How many can you count?
How'd you like to have them run across the road?
Ostrich is pretty deadly. And then we've got this quick one here about what an ostrich is, just in case people don't know.
And you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination.
I was waiting for it to headbutt her. Whack.
Well, they usually they kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just ask it's not ostriches, but just ask Australians how mean those big birds can be, and look up the emu war in Australia. Yeah. These birds kick ass. So here's a quick explanation of what's going on in BC.
This is Cody with the BS Report. We have breaking news. The Canadian government in BC has determined that 400 ostriches must be destroyed. That's right, folks. Not relocated, not rehomed, destroyed. Because, apparently, these majestic birds are now considered a security threat. Move over, hackers and spies, the ostriches are coming for us. Experts say only 9% of the birds are sick, but the government's solution? Take out all of them. It's like finding one bad grape in a bunch and then burning the entire vineyard. Makes perfect sense, right? Meanwhile, your neighbor's backyard chicken's totally fine, no threat there, but a whole farm of majestic long-legged creatures? Too risky. Better fire up the bureaucratic bird blaster. And just remember, folks, nothing screams environmental policy like wasting 400 perfectly healthy birds. But in other news, the government says they're exploring solutions, which probably means they'll hold 16 meetings, create a task force, and then solve absolutely nothing. Stay tuned.
Yeah, that sounds like Canada.
Yep. And
make a task force for something that's completely asinine and not actually solve any problems.
Let's hire a bunch of people and someone to lead it for $600,000 a year to absolutely solve nothing but kill a bunch of fucking birds that don't need to die. So I found this as well. This is from 6 years ago. And this is the farm. I grow this up here. So I won't play. This is a 5-minute long video. I won't play the whole thing, but I just wanted to show kind of their farm. So this is the people whose birds are set to be culled on February 1st.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like
whack, fuck. That bee could probably hurt.
Oh yeah. This is one of my favorite parts. He gets down and does the
showing.
Yeah.
Look at me strut. Look at me strut.
And then this next part that's gonna appear. This is what breaks my heart.
Oh.
So this ostrich farm, they raise them for, I think, for the eggs and for the plumage. I'm not sure if it's for the meat as well. But there's some babies in the incubator, and there's the babies!
Though they are so much cuter as babies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a face that a mother could love when they're grown up. I do think they're cute with their long eyelashes and everything, and they're very smart. So there's one more part that comes up here. I love this one's eyebrows. And then there's all bigger babies. And then the next part where they all run under the barn. It's like this super cute thing.
You can't tell me that fucking dinosaurs weren't...
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, come on. That thing's built like a dinosaur looks.
Oh yeah. And then this big guy here starts dancing. Oh, look at him.
Oh! Cute.
So this is that's from their let's see. So it's the Universal Ostrich Farm, Edgewood, BC. That is their official YouTube channel. Their YouTube channel has 17 subscribers.
Aww.
So I'm not saying go and subscribe, but it's Al Watt, so ALWATT. That's who took that video, so I want to give credit to him. His like I said, his YouTube channel, I don't know if it's been active, but that video is from 6 years ago featuring the farm. Right after that was when they had the huge fires that went through BC in that area, and they were able to rescue those ostriches and save them from the fire. Now, because of this whole bird flu or avian flu that's going around that was transmitted through wild birds, these poor birds are potentially going to have to lose their lives. So This is pretty much the only thing that I could find on the news. It was a very, very brief news report. It's not being covered. People just I know it's online consensus, but people are just like, they're so terrified of the avian flu now because, that's the new thing. They support this kind of a thing, but yet the same people are against, maybe they're vegans or vegetarians because it's unethical to eat meat or whatever, right? Like, just the intersectionality of the ideology just doesn't jive, or so this one here, I'll just share this quick. This was a quick report from CTV, for lack of a better thing, but this is a quick overview of what's going on as well.
A BC ostrich farm is considering legal action to try to stop the ordered cull of hundreds of its birds in a little over a week. An active avian flu outbreak was declared on the farm last month, and it's the first time the virus has been detected in Canadian ostriches. But as CTV's Michelle Bernaro reports, the owner says the birds are now showing resistance to the disease.
Everybody's looking absolutely beautiful.
On this farm in the remote community of Edgewood, there are about 400 ostriches.
Some of the ostriches that we have out there are 34 years.
But the Canadian Food Inspection Agency has ordered the destruction of all of them by February 1st after 2 tested positive for avian flu.
It makes me want to cry right now. It was very devastating.
In total, 69 ostriches here have died since around mid-December, but Pasitny believes the surviving birds have developed an immunity.
We haven't had a new symptom or a death for a week now.
On Wednesday, about 30 people against the cull rallied outside.
We had so many people here and just peaceful.
Pasitny says the farm, which is part of an international research program on COVID-19 antibodies, is looking at legal options.
We're seeking an injunction. If that's what we have to do.
She believes the birds do not pose a threat to the public.
They're quarantined, and they're contained. They're never flying anywhere. And we're in a really remote area away from any other chicken producers.
No one from the CFIA was available for an interview, but said in an email that the agency is continuing to work with the farm to gather information and that it will be able to provide a more comprehensive update early next week. The CFIA also says there is no conclusive evidence that ostriches have more immunity to the virus compared to other bird species, and adds that the disease can transmit from animals to humans, especially people in close contact. The BC Conservative Agriculture critic says the CFIA is doing its best to manage the devastation caused by avian flu, but he has questions about the ordered cull.
They're not inside of a barn. So someone tell me from CFIA how on February 1st you're going to deal with killing 300-pound ostriches in some kind of a humane way.
For Pasitny, the thought of having to destroy the beloved herd is just too painful. Michelle Bernaro, CTV News, Vancouver.
Yeah, how the fuck are they going to do that?
Wrong. 2 years.
That's
a lot of animals.
Yeah, and I mean, her point there is they are in an extremely remote place.
Yeah.
She lives separately from the birds. Like, the birds are housed on a farm, and her house is far away. Now, here's where I put my conspiracy hat on. Now, there's this comment here, of course, bird flu from, altered mosquitoes that were released and that whole thing here.
Yeah.
But I found this article. And just hear me out, everybody. So this is from the NIH directly. They've done studies back in 2010 of a cross-reactive neutralization antibodies against pandemic influenzas, viruses A, H1N1, and other variants. So that's the avian flu. And I think this is H5N1. So these, of course, are pandemic flus that go around the world. They're zoonotic, so they move from chickens to pigs to humans and all that stuff. And that's what makes us sick, right? Well, this one here, they did studies with ostriches. And they found that ostriches are extremely resistant to A/H1N1. So any type of avian flu, ostriches are very immunoresistant to that.
Nice.
So they did a bunch of studies.
Because they're part dinosaur.
Well, well, you do know the chicken is the closest living relative to the T-Rex.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll skip past
that
all this.
explains the little arms.
Yeah, I know. The little. Anyway, and when they roar. You know, we can't have roosters in town, but I could still have my hens, and I have the three girls that are leg bars, and when somebody lays an egg, they all start screaming. And they scream loud enough so I can hear them in the house with my windows closed. I'm just like, oh my God. So anyway, so when you get down here to the discussion, they incubated H1 and A/H1N1 viruses in ostrich eggs from birds that had been injected with the virus. Their eggs contain antibodies and incredible amounts of antibodies in their eggs. So it has cross reactivity with any type of avian flu, essentially. Let's see. So an increasing need for development of antibodies for research, diagnostic, and therapeutic purposes. Antibodies are experimental for mammals, including mouse and rabbit, not suited for industrial use due to their higher production cost. So that's when when they're trying to develop vaccines, they'll use mammals like mice or bats or anything like that. But of course, they're very, very small, so it's very expensive and time consuming. It's not cost effective to use live animals to create these antibodies. Whereas with let's see. So a simple economical method has been developed for mass production of antibodies. 4 grams of the virus can be for the antibodies can be purified from 1 yolk. Thus, 400 grams of antibodies can be obtained from 1 female ostrich in 1 year. So all the eggs that she lays after being infected with the avian flu, whatever strain, all of her eggs that she lays after that point, all of the yolks contain the antibodies. So you're not having to kill an animal to make vaccines, I guess, for against these flus. The most interesting part that I found of this is let's see. So recently, various types of facial masks and air conditioner filters have been used for the prevention of airborne infection. However, the small influenza virus can pass through currently used filters, thus resulting in human infection, as the virus is still alive even after drying. So remember the masks? They work. A high-grade filter employing new prevention mechanisms must be developed. The Ostrich IgY is being applied to filters and can protect against influenza viruses by antigen-antibody reactions. In the present study, a large amount of cross-reactive neutralization antibodies against the various influenza viruses, including pandemic A/H1N1, was produced in a cost-effective manner, indicating the potential of ostrich antibodies for industrial purposes. Filters impregnated with ostrich antibodies may therefore become a powerful tool for protecting humans against pandemic influenza viruses.
Ah, motherfuckers.
This was from 2010, and you can look this up. It's on
I remember, well, I'm not that, but I remember like the whole H1N1 bird flu shit.
Yes.
Back then when that came out. There's always something. I think when I was in high school, it was SARS and fucking anthrax.
Yeah. Like the H5N1, I remember when that came through Canada, and it was in Toronto in a hospital, and actually did kill a lot of immunocompromised and elderly people. And they locked down the hospital because they were terrified of what was going to happen. And like people in Alberta are like freaking out, right? Because, oh my God, people in Ontario. This is directly tied to what we're talking about now. So, conspiracy theory, like, let's all put our tinfoil hats on. These birds have all now survived this avian flu that's going around now. This big old bad avian flu that we're murdering millions of birds over. This flock is now immune to it because the birds that survived now have the antibodies in their yolks of the eggs that they lay that can be used for industrial purposes. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm not even a smart person. But
yes, you are.
I sell myself short. But why, in heaven's name, would you cull a bird that has survived this avian flu outbreak? And now the yolks of their eggs contain the antibodies for what could be a horrible flu that goes around. But yet here's an extremely cheap and easy way to inoculate other birds, industrial birds, against this. Instead of having...
Oh my God, I'm going to call my cat. Yeah. She's like rolling around in my lap and headbutting me and fucking like, love me, pay attention to me, please.
I know. Freya, stop it.
Yeah. She just looked around like, what the fuck? Fuck, bad kitty. Oh, she's huge too.
Here we go. So we have a bunch of black market egg dealers now.
Yeah.
So if you know someone,
I want some ostrich eggs. That'd be interesting. I bet that'd be a whole breakfast.
One ostrich egg is on average the same size as a dozen to 18 chicken eggs, depending on the size of the chicken eggs and the ostrich egg.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I've had scrambled ostrich egg. It just tastes like scrambled eggs. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's see. So Tom Martin here said, spray your filter coils with grapeseed oil. It kills molds and viruses.
Nice.
Yeah, because it does that. Like if you have what is it, like any kind of infection or anything like that, grapeseed oil is actually really good, and it's really good for anti-aging too. Just saying.
And good for you.
And good for you. The more you know. And then, of course, emus. I freaking love emus. They're so cute. They're so funny.
Emus.
So, all that being said, we want to get the word out to all the dozens of viewers out there that watch us. And make sure that at least we've done our part to try and get the word out with our little tiny stream, with our super amazing, awesome audience that is either watching now or is watching later, and including the people that are watching and taking notes and taking screenshots.
I just had that song pop into my head. The bird, bird, bird. Yes, bird is a word.
Don't do that. So we've got this one cute last video here, and then I'm going to share some information on how we can help. So this is an ostrich that is born to survive. Oh.
I hosted a gym.
I love that video. It's like, fuck you, fuck that.
Yeah.
Because they can run super fast. Like they're quick.
Like 30 or 40 miles an hour.
Yeah. And those things are 300 pounds. So they live for 50
Holy
years.
shit.
They're big birds. And like I said, those birds that are on that farm, the government's coming in and they're going to kill all the birds. But not only that, they want to go to her house that's off site, and they're going to take and dispose of everything ostrich related. So
what?
Everything she has, they're wiping her out. The eggs, anything incubating, any of the chicks, everything.
What a bunch of dicks.
Everything. Now, my conspiracy mind is, why? Why?
They're going to wipe out the ostriches?
These ostriches
it's gonna be like the
contain
dodo.
the antibodies. They contain the antibodies and the yolks of the eggs that are going to be laid from this point on, because that bird has survived this.
I want to attack ostriches and emus with lasers.
With freaking laser beams on their freaking foreheads.
Could you imagine that?
That'd be awesome. Trained tactical ostriches. All right. So on the last point here. So yeah, go to the NIH website. Oh, here it is. Go to that NIH website and search ostrich and bird flu, or avian flu, or H1N1. And you can read that study for yourself. And it's quite compelling on how ostriches, the way their little immune systems work is they create tons of antibodies that are readily available in the eggs that they lay after they've been infected and survived. And my question is, why aren't we using this as something to help against the bird flu if it's so bad? So let's just take into consideration that it actually is as bad as they're saying it is. And oh my God, we're gonna. Well, wouldn't this be something that we'd want to be doing against that? Something cheap and effective, and that can be created in industrial scale without harming anything.
Murdering a bunch of birds.
Well, without culling a bunch of chickens. So anyway, or ostriches too. I got chickens on the brain. So this is the website. So BC Rising. This is the one that's trying to make a lot of positive change in BC. But on their website is the urgent call to action. These birds are going to be called on February the 1st, which is less than a week away.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
So that's this Saturday coming.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So that is this Saturday coming. So on this website, bcrising.ca, you can take action. And then there's some email addresses on here. There's some things that you can save or to share on social media to help bring awareness to this, because I haven't heard anything other than that little tiny CTV thing that was talked about, because, whatever, it's a big story. And then they're not going to talk about it ever again because they don't want people looking into it.
Right.
This is Frank. This is Lulu. And this is Q-Tip. Because his head looks like a little Q-Tip. All right. So there's a whole bunch of information on there. I'm gonna go to the next screen here. Oh my god, I'm totally boomering this shit. So once you click on that page, it takes you to this page here, Save Our Ostriches. Here I was talking about, here's Frank. There's Lulu. And there's Q-Tip because he's got a fuzzy head. You can share these pictures on social media. On here, saveourostriches.com is a great place to go. And on there, it shows sample letters that can be sent to the different government agencies. The instruction is to flood the email address that's on here. So these are the email addresses on here. The request is to flood the email address with requests to just put our voices together. And it doesn't take any time to download the form letter that's been created already for you and to email this as a concerned citizen. And my American friends and English friends, whoever's watching, please. And then, of course, there's connections to animal cruelty organizations trying to get those people on board because we know those people have big voices. So please, 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 please share this around, share this information, share this with your friends, talk about it in real life. Hopefully we can make a change. And that's something that I was compelled to talk about today. And I know Chantel also, because I mean, we've got a little tiny voice on this stream. We might as well use it, put it to good use.
Mm-hmm. So. Oh, my cat's putting hers to use behind me.
I know. Freya, stop.
She said no.
Yeah, so that is everything that we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I got nothing else. I gotta go flood my bathroom.
Go flood your bathroom? What are you talking about?
I gotta piss like a Russian racehorse.
Jesus Christ. I have to use the facilities. All right. Well, in those words, with that final word, we got a piece. We got to go.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody who. Oh, here we go. Run, Forrest, run. Thank you to everybody who showed up tonight for us. We really appreciate our regular viewers and our new viewers that come every week on Tuesdays to join us because we really enjoy doing this stream for you. And yeah, seriously.
Yeah, Elon, help us out.
Yeah, Elon, Musk, if you're listening, help a bunch of girls out. Yeah, and thank you so much for everybody for joining us. I know the star of our show is not here tonight, but the show must go on. And
yes.
Yeah. You were stuck with us girls tonight. With me for the first 10 minutes by myself. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot what I was doing.
But, just like a bunch of ladies, of course, we're going to be disorganized. And I'm an old lady, so I'm going to boomer my way through shit all the time. But anyway, hopefully we gave you guys something to think about. Please go check out that website. It's bcrising.ca. All the information's on there. Good job, Trump, for getting rid of the criminals and the rapists and all that bullshit out of the country. Cool, Polyev. Following the same thing.
Somebody give Milhouse his glasses back.
Yeah, somebody give Milhouse his glasses back and let his wife start doing his hair again because that Superman curl, it ain't doing it for me. All right. Remember, like the stream on your way out. Please. Well, if you enjoyed what you watched, if you enjoy what we do. If you don't, then sorry. All right, and on that note, I will play us out with our favorite outro.
Yay!
And we'll see you next
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Maybe the next step in your healing journey is to go around calling people fucking cunts. That is all for today's therapy session. I'll see you next Tuesday.